Welcome back to Sports Talk, and this hour I have with me Mike.
Good morning, and good morning to our viewers out there.
Let's start from badminton this hour, and in the FCT Badminton Association has called for partnership with the Indian Embassy to promote and strengthen badminton in the city of Abuja. This is a collaboration between the association
For the game right here in the country, because if we are having this kind of synergy and partnership with other foreign countries who are well equipped with the knowledge of the game, and then they can be able to translate it to what we have here in Africa, I think it's going to be a good one. So for me, it portends a good future for the game, like I said right here. And if this thing actually sees the light of the day, I tell you, it's going to be for the benefit of the development of the sport right here, because we'll have an in-depth knowledge of the people who truly shine in that very sport. And if we can bring it down here to the country, it also help us to improve and possibly stake a claim in African dominance before we talk about the global stage.
over 43 clubs are set to benefit from the partnership between the Indian Embassy and the Badminton Federation in the city of Abuja. Badminton requires some kind of facilities and equipment to compete, and we understand the cost of this equipment for the players and the association will be shared between this Indian Embassy and the Badminton Association in the Federal Capital Territory here in Nigeria. You need equipment to discover talent and to hone the talent as well.
For sure, because without proper equipment, then I think the idea of improving the level of the game is also extinguished, because you can't throw in an equipment that does not meet with the standard. It doesn't help those who have a little knowledge about the game to improve. But when you have the proper equipment, I mean, it helps the young athlete to also get more exposed, get more knowledgeable, and master some of those techniques. But if you don't have a proper equipment, then it becomes a challenge in improving the level of the game. So I think basically provision of the necessary equipment that could help to grow the game is very, very key, because like I said, without proper equipment, then the effort is already defeated before it gets started.
It's all getting ready for the FCT Badminton Association to get support from the India Embassy, and I think this is the way to go in terms of ensuring that more talents are discovered and they are properly honed with modern equipment aimed at bringing them to continental glory. Well, let's get to the other aspect of the first now, where we understand the Libya Embassy is all set for the Afro Basketball Championship. The championship gets underway today and, of course, runs for another 3 days. Nigeria is in Group B, and we vying for a place in the Afro Basketball tournament in the South African region of Libya. Libya hosts, they are currently second, and are eager to end their 16-year absence from the Afro Basketball Championship. Nigeria, of course, the 2015 Afro Basketball champions are facing a very difficult task, daunting, I must say, after finishing the first window of the qualifiers without a victory. Can Coach Abdulrahman get Nigerian ready? Basketball is one area where we should be, dominant. But this is an ambition of some experience and younger players. Can they deliver in the Tripoli?
Well, I think for me, I can't really beat my chest and say yes, that they will deliver in Tripoli out there. Taking a look at the first phase where they could not win a single game, and that culminated in the coach not even selecting bulk of the player that took part in the first qualifier. It was only 2 players that was picked out of that group. Now assembling entirely different young players, but individually talented. How long have they been in camp to be able to create that understanding among themselves? Is a big challenge, a big worry for me. So, and that is why I'm very pessimistic about their chances of going through, because as it is, they did not start in a good footing, and now bulk of the player that started the first phase have not been invited. It was just only to, like I said, a mixture of other young players, so it could be very difficult. So as it stands right now, I think our chances are very slim.
Talking about inviting most of the players, like we mentioned there, they didn't have any results, and so I think change of personnel is only the ideal thing which the coach has done.
It is the ideal thing, but then you take a look at the time frame where these newly invited players have to be together to actually have a synergy among themselves. That is my worry. Because they have not been in camp for a very long time right now. Despite the critical condition, I had expected them to throw the camp open earlier before these few days that they actually went to camp, so that they can be able to understand themselves the more. So I think this fire brigade approach of a thing is becoming a problem to us. We wait until the dying minute before we start rallying around, and it can't achieve positive results in that way. There must be a proper planning, proper long-term camping if you truly want to get the best of these players that are no doubt talented individually, but then you need collaboration. You need to be in camp together for a very long time to have that synergy, and that is my only worry. And I tell you, I cannot beat my chest and say yes, we are good to go, because bulk of the players have not yet understood themselves pretty well.
Well, let's hope that Nigeria will try to qualify in Libya between the next 3 days. Host nation Libya have a chance now of qualifying after several years of absence from the Afro Basketball Championship.
Yeah, definitely they have a chance, and of course they are in a pole position to go through, seated second in the group out there, because other teams as well are willing to also qualify, and that makes it even more dicey. They need to also roll up their sleeve if they truly want to qualify, because it's been a long time they've been there. This time around they need to hold their own if they truly want to qualify. It's not good enough for sitting in the second position, because if they lower down their guard, then other teams that are more hungrier might possibly dethrone them.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. We'll keep you posted on all the happenings in Tripoli, Libya, ahead of the Afro Basketball qualifier that will run for another 30 days from now. Talking about basketball, the ultimate in basketball is the NBA and the NBA Universities of America. Indiana Pacers were in action in the early hours of this morning. They beat Memphis Grizzlies by 127 points to 113 points. Pacers, are they back?
I won't say they are really back, but then they've been improving a lot in the last few games after some few days break. I think in their last 5 games they managed 3 wins. So I just hope they can also build on yesterday's victory going forward.
Boston Celtics, no doubt, the dominant team in the Western Conference. They beat Philadelphia 76ers 124 points to 104 points. Philadelphia 76ers, they're living in past, you think?
Definitely, they are. They are living in past, just past glory covering them right now. Because you take a look at their performance so far in the Western Conference, I think they are not in a very good position. What is expected of them, they've actually not hit the ground running since the start of this season. So I think they need to also improve. I listened to their coach 3 days ago talking about the need for them to improve and get back their lost glory and all of that, trying to pep talk the players into giving their best. But we've not really seen their best. But let's just hope that they can be able to change the tide this time around by churning out positive results.
The Hawks from Atlanta were taken in by the Magic from Orlando. Do you agree that Orlando Magic completely overwhelmed them? 114 points to 108?
Yeah, it was a total display. I saw some...
Chicago Bulls by 113 points to 111 points in an overtime win. It doesn't come easy, especially in overtime, and the home side wins, and the crowd erupts.
Of course, the thundering roar of the crowd as well was very, very instrumental, especially at the dying minutes of that very game, in that overtime. That is where the crowd came to, make the difference, cheering every touch, every slamming, every dunking out there, every basket, So I think sometimes fans have a way of, turning things around for their team, especially when the chips are done, and that is what the fans did yesterday, and it was very marvelous. And I tell you, courtesy of the fans present, it actually helped them to overcome just this point disparity.
The Bucks from Milwaukee, playing at home, beat LA Clippers 116 points to 110 without their main man, Adetokounmpo.
Yeah, Adetokunbo has been out injured. Milwaukee Bucks are not doing pretty bad in the Eastern Conference as well because they are in fifth position. To ground out the result, and that is why you don't need to rely on just one or two players in a team. They need to have like 4 or 5 stars, that can be able to hold it down whenever the other players are not fit because of injury, and that is what we've seen of Milwaukee Bucks. They